Hi, everybody. My name is Scott Anderson, and I've recently returned from my miles in meditation pilgrimage, and I had some thoughts, some reflections I'd like to share. Firstly, I set the intention to go on a pilgrimage, not the intention to go on a long bike ride, not the intention to go on a trip, but the intention to do pilgrimage. And in many spiritual traditions, it's said that the intention to go on pilgrimage sets you up to have obstacles that become supports for your development, for your spiritual evolution. Well, sure enough, I had those obstacles. The first few days of the trip, the weather was quite unpleasant. It was unseasonably cold, it was very rainy, it was very windy. And not just any kind of wind, but a headwind. And there were whole days where I felt like I was pedaling, and getting nowhere. I had a lot of time to practice one of the three life skills as taught by Mingyur Rinpoche: be okay with not okay. Yes, I would have preferred sunny skies, a tailwind, but that's not what I got. So I just had to practice being present with what was. Be okay with not okay. One of the other obstacles was getting hit by a car. More or less okay, but it was quite a jolt, shall we say. I'll never forget as I saw the car coming in against my left side, and I looked at the hood of the car, and then there was a moment I can't remember. But I can remember on my back the moment when I opened my eyes and saw the sky. And that was probably the clearest my mind has ever been. Mingyur Rinpoche teaches us that our natural state is clarity. And in that moment, I felt that clarity. I experienced resting in the natural state. So one of the other life skills is taught by Mingyur Rinpoche is be natural. The trip was more than obstacles. When you're on a bicycle, you end up going through life. In a car, you go around communities, places. When you're in an airplane, you go over communities, places, experiences. But when you're on a bike tour, you go through. You go through communities, interact with people. You go through animal habitat. So one of the things that was apparent in the springtime was the animals and their babies. And they cared so deeply about their babies. They protected them fiercely and doggedly. There was such a tenderness to the animals' concern for their babies. When I'd pass through communities and interact with people, that very often in people's eyes, what I would see was a vulnerability. And after a few days, what I realized is their vulnerability was mirroring my vulnerability. I was just this guy on a bike riding through their community. And I got a chance to see just how vulnerable we all are and how tender that is and how precious life is. Not just human life, but all the lives are so precious. Every step of the way in the journey, in the pilgrimage, I got a chance to practice active meditation. We may think of meditation as what you do on a cushion, sitting quietly, sitting formally. But one of the things Mingyur Rinpoche teaches us is that we can meditate anytime and anywhere. And that's what I did. Many hours a day, practicing meditation while moving through space on my bicycle. So this trip really reinforced a lot of the things that I've learned from Mingyur Rinpoche. You can meditate anytime, anywhere. Whatever is going on, you have a chance to practice being okay with not okay. You have a chance to practice being natural, resting in your natural state. It's always there. And a chance to practice being present, not in the future, not in the past, but right here, right now. So these lessons that I learned through setting the intention to go on a pilgrimage, I hold very dear. And thank you so much for following me on this journey.